online. We are streaming in live for purposely biology. We are going to specifically look at flowering plants. We are setting up and start in seconds. In seconds, a few seconds. We are going in live. So you're most welcome, dear members, dear followers. This is Inseleko Alan once again. Moto Online. We said we are the only legit platform that give you genuine information about academics. Specifically today, we are going to look at biology and are going to stream in live about flowering plants. But before we go into that detail of flowering plants, I would like to thank you for being patient. We've been not active throughout the weekend for some reasons, but we are back. We are really sorry for that. And we thank you that you're back because we see some members joining us. Pade Sebufu, you're most welcome. Pade, thank you. Thank you for also watching always and following us. I want us to look at flowering plants. But before we go any further with flowering plants, let's first go back to the classification of plants. We know the plants fall under a kingdom we call kingdom plantae. Kingdom plantae. It is a very big kingdom with very many species of organisms. And these organisms are said to be grouped into two major categories. And in these categories, the plants are either vascularized, if they possess vascularized, if they possess a vascular bundle, and if they do not possess a vascular bundle, they are known as non-vascularized. When we talk of a vascular bundle, we mean the transportation system of a plant. The transportation system of a plant is collectively known as a vascular bundle. The vascular bundle comprises of the xylem and the phloem. The xylem is the one that transports the absorbed water and dissolved mineral salts. We know that. And then the phloem is one that transports, that transmits or conducts manufactured food, hormones, and other things. And that is the phloem. They are collectively known as the vascular bundle. So the plants are either vascularized or non-vascularized. The vascularized plants are the ones that possess these vessels, the xylem and the phloem vessels, the conducting tubes. And the non-vascularized are the ones that lack the conducting vessels. Our target is not this, our target is this. When we go further, the vascularized plants can either possess seeds or they may be seedless. The ones that can bear seeds we are going to look at. We can give examples of those that do not bear seeds. We have the likes of the conifers, and the Sinidaria, where we have the pine and so many others. These ones don't bear seeds. They are seedless, vascularized plants. The ones that bear seeds are the ones that we are going to look at. And we very well know that they form these seeds after fertilization that takes place in certain parts of their flowers. So I wanted to bring you to this board. Before we go any further, this makes or forms number 1, item 1 of paper 1. We are going to briefly look at item 1 of paper 1. This item 1 of paper 1 is an item that comes from element of. Here, they target a number of things. They expect a response that is combining a number of things, a number of topics, interconnected. And the way they set the item is calling for a response from a number of parts or topics. So, in this element of construct, it is purposely about flowering plants, majorly targeting the flowering plants. As you hear the word flowering plants, we are looking at everything that takes place, the structure of the flowering plant, the structures on it, the processes, all processes that take place. We know very well that a plant is a living organism. So being a living organism, it carries out what we call life processes. So we shall look at all the life processes that is. We are going to bring in all the work from all topics into this topic. We want to summarize it. So we shall look at the likes of nutrition. We shall look at it here in flowering plants. We shall look at fertilization here. We shall look at growth and development. We shall look at fertilization. When I talk about fertilization, I'm talking about reproduction. We shall talk about excretion. We shall look at the coordination and so many other things about flowering plants. So, we shall also look at sample questions about these things, which we shall expect ourselves to respond to. If we follow very well, they'll become simpler. For this case, allow me to start. A flowering plant is simply that plant that bears flowers when mature. They reproduce by means of seeds in most cases, though some reproduce by vegetative forms, but mostly they reproduce by means of seeds because they bear flowers from which the seeds are formed. The flowering plants, if we remember very well, I'm not good at art, but I'll try to make simple drawing. The flowering plant is made up of certain parts. I will bring samples and show them to you. Let me draw a sample flowering plant. I'm not good at art. I will draw some things that may represent a plant. Maybe under flower. I'm not good at art. Let me do something simple to represent a plant. A flowering plant is comprised of two major parts. That is actually the systems. It is made up of a shoot system and a root system. We are going to detailedly look at these systems. And I would like to those who are following, if you can access a book and a pen, let's note down something to remember. We are going to look at all these systems, and I'm going to use a plant. I'm going to use a live example, which is a plant. I wasn't able to get one with flowers, but next time better. A flowering plant is made up of two systems. The root system that develop from the radical of an embryo, and the shoot system that develop from the plumule of an embryo. The root system grows downwards, and then the shoot system grows upwards. The root system is made up of roots, like we shall see, and other structures such as nodules and so many others. And then the shoot system is made up of a number of things, which we shall mention. So under the shoot system, we are going to find that we have leaves. We can try to mention them. We have leaves, and the leaves themselves have a number of things we are to talk about in the coming, within the coming time. We have the stem. We shall see what a stem is, and it has a detail of things we shall look at. We have the flowers themselves. We shall find that when mature, a flowering plant possesses flowers. We have the buds, very important structures on a plant. We are looking at the parts of the shoot system. We have the fruits. We are looking at things that are visible. We have the shoots on the shoot system. We have the fruits. So for the root system, we've said it is majorly made up of roots. Majorly made up of roots and other accessories such as the root hair and the nodules for the rhizomes. So we are going to see that we are going to use these structures of the systems to classify these flowering plants. We said that the flowering plants are seed-bearing plants. They are mostly seed-bearing plants. Almost all flowering plants possess or form seeds when mature. And these flowering plants, we said that they can be grouped into two major categories. And in the two major categories of these flowering plants, we have the dicotyledonous plants and the monocotyledonous. So we have two major categories of flowering plants. We have the dicotyledonous plants and the monocotyledonous plants. The other ones we are going to look at. They are classified basing on these structures. The difference in the appearance of these structures we are looking at. Please, if you have any question and you're streaming in live and you're watching in, please post that question. My friend will read it for me. I will respond to it. I greatly welcome those who are following. I know you have a number of you. We are so grateful. Please call your friends to also join. We are going to use these two plants to distinguish between dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous plants. We want to use these two plants. Let's start with the root system. You're to tell me which of these plants. We have plant A and plant B. Dicotyledonous plants are said to have a taproot system. To bring to closer what I was to teach in the coming time, A taproot system is one where only one major root is attached to the main stem, and it is from that major root from where the other lateral roots are attached. The roots are said to have different sizes. The lateral roots, some are small, others are big, but not as the main root. I think you can, these are roots on this one, and this one is also, these ones are also roots. You can see which of these roots is a taproot system. And then the monocotyledonous plants have a fibrous root system. The word fibrous means that the roots are actually adventitious root system. In the adventitious root system, the roots are fibers, are fiber-like structures. They all have the attachment on the main stem, irrespective of the number, and they are almost of the same size. So when we look at these two plants, for this one, all of the roots have their attachment on the main stem. They are almost of the same size. The roots we have this one, and this one. They are the structure, the three roots that are observable on this one. They are almost of the same size. They are all having the attachment on the main stem. So this means this plant qualifies to become a monocotyledonous plant for that reason, because of possession of an adventitious root system. When we look at this one, it is only this root that has the attachment to the main stem. The others are branches of it, and they have different sizes. So this makes this root system to be a taproot system, and makes this plant to become or to be classified as a dicotyledonous plant. When we move up to the stems of dicotyledonous plants usually form branches. And these ones do not form branches. I would like to ask from one of you, who has ever seen a branch of a maize plant? Has any one of you ever seen any branch on a maize plant? I don't think you saw any. Have you ever seen a branch of a sugar cane? I don't think. So that makes a sugarcane plant a monocotyledonous plant because its stem cannot form branches. And all those plants whose stems form branches, they are classified as dicotyledonous plants. These ones stems lack nodes, lack internodes. For these ones, possess, we are looking at stems here. The other ones were roots. Even here, these ones are stems. These ones were roots. For these ones, possess nodes with internodes. For the background on the platform, an internode y'ennyingo. Yeringa joint eyawula ennyingo emu ku nnyingo endala. So the nodes, the internodes are these ones. These are the internodes. And these ones are the nodes. So for monocotyledonous plants, they are nodes and internodes, which is not a case on this plant. If you can see the stem very well, we have no internodes here. If you can see, actually, these are the nodes. These are the nodes, and these are the internodes. So we can't trace any node here on this one, but they are present on this one. When we move further to leaves, the dicotyledonous plants have they have network veined leaves. They have network veined leaves. And for these ones, we are going to look at leaf venation shortly. And for the monocotyledonous plants, have either parallel venation or pinnate parallel venation. We are looking at the differences between dicotyledonous plants and monocotyledonous plants. For these ones, the dicotyledonous plants, they are the veins on their leaves are arranged in the way that they form a net-like structure. Then the veins are highly branched and interlocking or intermeeting to form a net-like structure on the blade of the leaf, what we call the network or the reticulum on the leaf blade. And this is a characteristic of only dicotyledonous plants. But for the monocotyledonous plants, the leaves are have parallel veins. The veins are parallel to each other and to the main vein, the midrib. And these veins have regular spaces between one another, running from the bottom of the leaf to the tip. So this is what we call parallel venation. And then the pinnate parallel venation, like we can give an example of a banana leaf. We can take this example of a banana leaf. The veins, the primary veins, are parallel to one another, but perpendicular to the main vein. They are of the same size, running almost in the same direction to the lateral sides of the leaf, actually to the sides of the margin, but perpendicular to the main vein, which is not the case for parallel venation. So this kind of venation is known as parallel pinnate venation. This is also an example or a characteristic of monocotyledonous plants. So this makes the banana plants and the canary plants to be classified as monocotyledonous plants. When we go to the leaf stalk, the petiole, the monocotyledonous plants have leaves with solid petioles, which is not the case with these ones. When I talk of solid, I mean that this leaf stalk, to detach it from the main stem, you just have to break it off the main stem. But if the leaf stalk is not solid, when it is sheathed, you just peel it. If you are to detach it from the main stem, you just peel it. You unfold it over the stem, or you unfold it from the stem. So it is in the form of a sheath, a flattened surface, a cavity. So it is a flattened leaf stalk. So this makes that plant we've seen to be a monocotyledonous plant. So these ones have leaves with sheathed petioles. So we are giving characteristics of dicotyledonous versus monocotyledonous plants. There are groups of flowering plants, seed-bearing plants, vascularized plants. When we go to cases of flowers, for these ones, for the dicotyledonous plants, have floral parts that are in even numbers. The floral parts are in even numbers. If you are counting let's say the sepals, you'll find that the sepals are either 4, 6, 8. They are in even numbers, not odd numbers. 2. When we are talking about the monocotyledonous plants, they have floral. You find that they have 3, 5, 7. The floral parts are in odd numbers. So we are looking at classification of flowering plants as either monocotyledonous or dicotyledonous. Before we go any further, if you have a question, pause it before we continue, because I want us to go to another thing. I want us to simplify this because we need to see questions. Please, if you have any question, pause it. They read it for me. Good. So let's continue. Are we all good? We continue. As I clean this part, have we noted this? Can we classify plants as either vascularized or non-vascularized? As either seed-bearing or non-seed-bearing? Do we know that? We said Amuto online, Shalan. We are continuing with flowering plants. If we are done with noting the other things, we can continue with now parts of a flowering plant. We are going to look at part by part. The syllabus book says that as learners, you should be able to classify these. Actually, the only thing I saw is classifying leaves. But when asking, they bring questions that are general, calling for everything. So I'm going to teach everything about flowering plants. We are going to majorly start with the leaves. These are common questions. And we've seen, even in the previous task we were given, they brought leaves. Actually, in UNEB number 1, the question was about leaves. Let me hope there are no questions. We can continue. Thanks for those who are keeping online. We very well know there are reasons to why some parts are called those parts. There are reasons to why leaves are leaves. The leaves, the 3 major characteristics to why leaves are leaves, why they are different from other parts of the plant, the 3 major reasons. They are the ones I'm going to mention. I want to use a good example. So one of the reasons to why a leaf is a leaf, to cut the story short, all leaves are said to possess a leaf base. The leaf base is that part of the petiole, the swollen end of the petiole that attaches the leaf to the stem. It is this part of the petiole. It attaches the leaf to the stem. 2, the leaf possess a leaf petiole. They are only leaves with this. You cannot find them on fruits. You cannot find them on flowers. They are the only ones with this. We are giving reasons why leaves are leaves. And then 3, they possess a blade. So they are the only leaves that are flattened the surfaces of a plant. We are talking about leaves. We are going to look at leaves in details, a way that we can fail in about leaves in flowering plants. So these are the three practical reasons to why a leaf is a leaf. So when they bring specimens, and for example, they bring this one, and they say, identify the part of the plant specimen this is. It is a leaf. They may bring and say, with the reasons, identify the part of the plant this specimen is. The part is a leaf, and these are the three reasons. A base, possession of a base, possession of a petiole, and possession of a blade. That is for the practical purposes. There are other things that are found in a leaf. Structures. We are going to look at the structures or the parts of a leaf. We are going to look at one by one and the major purposes they serve. Let's try to draw a leaf. I'm not good at art, but I'll try. This is a leaf. I will use this one. I will not put too many things. I will illustrate with a few. So we shall find that this pointed part or upper part of the leaf will be known as the apex. If we remember very well the primary information, primary 1, this is primary 3. We have the lamina. We are naming the parts of the leaf blade, the flattened part of the leaf. We have the margin. On the lamina, we have the veins and the main vein, what we call the midrib. And then when we move down, we have the leaf stalk or the petiole, and the swollen end, what we call the base, the leaf base. They are the three main parts of a leaf. They are the main parts of a leaf. On them, there are other structures we can find. Other structures or features on a leaf. You may find that on some of the leaves, we have hair on them. The hair. We know the purposes of the hair on the leaf. You may find that some leaves possess thorns. You may find that some leaves have spines. We shall find that some leaves possess scales. We are looking at other structures that are associated with the leaf. And all these things serve purposes to that leaf. When we look through the microscope, and in the theory part of it, we shall find that we have the stomach, and these serve purposes. When we observe further using stronger microscopes, for example, the electron microscopes, we shall find that they are what we call the chloroplasts, and so many other things when we view the cells. So we are going to look at each of these parts one by one. Before that, we are going to give the major functions of a leaf. And from this, we shall look at the processes that takes place in a leaf. One, we are giving the functions of a leaf. One, a leaf is the site for photosynthesis. We shall find that it's in the leaf where the process of food formation takes place. We shall find that it's in the leaf where gaseous exchange takes place. And there are reasons. Why does photosynthesis take place in the leaves? We shall find that we have chloroplasts that serve a certain function in this process. Site for gaseous exchange, we shall find that when we look at the details of the leaf, we have the air spaces that opens up through the stomata to the environment, to the outside environment for gaseous exchange. We are going to find that in certain leaves, in certain plants, they are the sites of excretion. We shall find that excess heat is lost by transpiration through leaves. We shall find that excess water is lost by the plant, in some plants, through leaves by guttation. We shall look at all that details with time. We are going to find that in some leaves, in some plants, the leaves are storage organs. For example, in the bulbs, they store their food in leaves. For example, the onions. We are going to find that these plants, in some plants, the leaves are organs. They are organs for vegetative reproduction. They are organs for vegetative reproduction. For example, the bryophyllum, the Baganda call it a chiondo. You plant leaves to get a new plant or new plants. We are going to find that these leaves we shall find that they are organs for sensitivity. Like the Pudica mimosa, they are the leaves that feel touch. The Pudica mimosa in Uganda is Mkowewumbi, we know that. They are the sites where the plant feels touch. They are the leaves in most cases where the sense receptors are found for maybe extreme temperatures. We shall find that in some plants, the leaves are for support. Like in the climbing plants, like the passion fruits, some of the leaves are modified to tendrils. The tendrils attach to other plants for supporting those non-woody plants. So all of these are functions of leaves. There are very many others. So whenever plant leaves are removed or destroyed or interrupted, all of these processes are affected. When you remove a leaf from a plant, don't expect food formation. In most cases, you are making the plant fail to call out gaseous exchange or cooling the plant and so many others. In some plants like the bulbs, like we've said, the bulbs will not have storage sites for for the manufactured food. If we have any question, you can ask, or else we meet in the next session. Please pose any question below that video. Let's meet back for another part of it. Thank you. I'm waiting for some questions before I continue. Please don't say no. Any question? Type in any question if you have. For me, I'm okay with everything, sir. Okay, Mr. Pade Sebuf. It is okay. You invite your friends. Invite your friends, please. Take your friends and invite your friends, bring your friends close. Understanding. We have some more good information to share with you. We have a lot actually. Invite your other friends. Let's meet. Thank you.